It was at like 50%. But anyway.
I'm not the master of this.
I am the master. The master is the one in the chair with the laptop.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I'll trust your judgment.
We should mutiny.
Yeah.
No!
Push him out of the chair, take the laptop. This will be our show.
Hello and welcome everybody to HastleCast episode 18. Tonight hosted as always by myself, Ben. We have...
Mike.
Aaron.
Steven.
Thank you for coming tonight, guys. Talk about stuff. Probably not grammar.
I can't believe you're going to start with this.
It was just the first thing on my mind. Anybody wants
If you have an opinion on it's persisting outside and what that means, write us at HastleCast@gmail.com and tell us what you think.
Yeah, so basically what happened was Alex posted in our group chat, he asked if the statement, it's persisting it outside, is grammatically correct.
It's not.
And it's not. Which sparked this humongous debate among our group members on how to fix this issue. You simply fix it by removing the second it. But other people were confused as to why persisting was even in there, even though that works. So we were going over the various different forms of persisting, persistent, and which is most appropriate. What I've concluded is that you could say either persisting or persistent, and you remove the second it, and everything is fine.
But it helps when you actually define what it is, so...
Yeah.
That's the thing, though, is it applies to anything.
Like, I'd say if it was sunny outside earlier and it's still sunny, I would say it's still you could still argue that it's persisting outside would be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying leading in with that sentence doesn't make any sense.
Yes, you need a little context.
Steven, we did something neat last night.
We did.
We went to a rap concert. And
Yeah.
it was dope as hell, yo.
Were you participating?
No, I can't rap for the life of me. Steven
We
can,
all
though.
appreciate it.
Steven can rap?
Oh, dude, I am a god.
Rap.
No.
Good.
Rap for us.
Come on.
I only rap when I feel inspired, and that died back in 2010 when Idea died.
Oh, that's sad.
Shit.
Yeah. So this rap battle thing, it was a event at Distortion on McLeod that was for Mac Lethal, featuring a bunch of other smaller acts in the Calgary hip-hop scene, and also a rap battle. And that was the interesting part. One of the interesting parts.
Because that was the most, let's be real, other than Mac Lethal, that was the most interesting part. I appreciate all the other guys who were on stage, but yeah, I'm a big fan of freestyle rap music in general, so...
So there were 8 people, and...
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, the last beat, when they're like, oh, we need like a banger for this last beat, and they played the last beat from 8 Mile for the final rap battle, I almost threw something.
Steven's not a big Eminem fan.
Just right where it started, I'm like, really? The one thing that like everybody in this crowd's like, yeah! White people know this song.
So this rap battle, there was 8 participants, and they did it tournament style, and it was all freestyle. So they would do it like 30 seconds or just a few bars each, and then do that for like 2 minutes straight or whatever. Or not 2 minutes straight.
So it was, the first couple rounds was each person gets 3 30-second rounds. So one person does 30 seconds, pass off, the next person does 30 seconds, back and forth. And then the last battle between the 2 finalists was 2 30-second rounds each, and then they did 2 minutes of each of them gets 4 bars, so 4 lines, and then they pass back and forth after every 4 lines.
Yeah, it was surprisingly impressive, being able to like on the spot come up with rebuttals like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those guys should be lawyers.
It's incredible what some people can do. That's one of the reasons why I'm a huge fan of it is just like the quick wit of all of them is very interesting.
I wrote down some of the more memorable lines as best as I can remember them.
Now you gotta rap them.
Yeah. So one of them, this was from, what's his name? The guy who won? Daly. He was rapping against, I can't remember who, but he says, "No wonder you're still single. You're on Tinder when you should be on Christian Mingle."
Oh, that line was mostly only impressive because the guy right beforehand kept making jokes about Tinder. Like, throughout his entire 30 seconds was like, oh, I saw this guy on Tinder, his profile sucks. I saw this guy on Tinder, this and this. And then, like, this first line leading him from the other one was like, yeah, no, like, Tinder is your style. It's more like Christian Mingle.
Yeah. Another one. You came up here dressed pretty weird, and your girlfriend has a vagina beard. Oh, some of them are just so dirty.
That was actually somewhat relevant to a very minor conversation I had today. Where
Can you tell?
there's a chat room for a game that I'm in, and we spend more time chatting in the chat room than actually playing the game. And stupid stuff happens all the time. And we came to the conclusion that the Nutcracker is a great name for a vagina.
Yeah, it's true.
Jeez.
Cracking open those nuts.
Yeah.
Another line.
Aren't you glad you came on this episode?
No, I'm not.
We're getting it out early.
This was by, what's his name? Payday. This was like one of the first lines that was used, and the venue's name was Distortion. Stephen pointed out that this was a brilliant early use of this rhyme.
Yeah, he's the smartest guy in the room. Well, he had the very first battle, and when you hear it, you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Somebody would have to come up with that. And this guy made sure to get out of the way early so nobody else would use it on him, because it's an easy line to use that would get big laughs.
Yeah, he's like, you came up here to battle in distortion, and your mom was wishing that she had an abortion. It's just like, and then everybody from that point forward can't use that line because it's so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one I wrote down, you think you're cool coming here and dissing me. How does it feel to lose to a 32-year-old father of 3, which was Daly, who won the whole competition?
It's funny. I was looking into Daly today because, like, man, this guy's actually incredibly talented. I wonder what his past has been like through rap battles. And there's a popular battle ring in Calgary called King of the Dot, which uses a lot of pre-written verses, so I don't really like to talk about them too much. But Daly participated in that back in the day when they used to do battles in Calgary. And there's one where he made a joke with somebody in the crowd, and the guy in the crowd just walks and punches him in the face in the middle of his rap battle. I'm just like, dude, you guys are hardcore.
Oh, man.
So does he get to start his 30 seconds over if that happens, or is he?
I don't know how they conclude. I don't know if they disqualified the other guy, or like I don't really know. Yeah, it turned into a big fight in the middle of the crowd.
Wow. There was so Justin, I believe his name is.
J-Reds.
J-Reds, he organized this event, and he's a rapper himself. Do you want to give a quick background on him?
I don't want to go too much into his personal life. He's running event promotions and stuff now. His life, he's doing very well for himself.
Yeah, so he raps himself also. So at one point he takes the stage and spits a few rhymes. And
I don't think that's the phrasing, but go on.
and like there's a crowd at the stage like that, and one of the guys who the whole night was just way too drunk and being a little bit disturbing, he leans his back on the stage and kind of like sits down on one of the monitors or something, and Justin just like stop.
No, he tried jumping on stage.
Oh, he did try jumping on.
He did try jumping on stage.
Okay.
Carry on. But.
So he tried jumping on stage, and Justin's just like stopped everything. He's like, security, get this guy the hell out of here, stuff like that. And then the guy, he like got down, and then he leaned back on the stage. He's like, dude, you turned your back to the stage. You don't care about any of this. Like, it's like, you're so disrespectful. And he didn't actually end up getting kicked out of the venue, but it was like, I saw at one point later the dude's girlfriend went and apologized to J-Reds. It's pretty funny.
I'm sure they won't be dating much longer.
Well, I don't know. They seemed all into it, so.
You know, it was very entertaining, though. I'm really glad. I thought, because, I don't know, Alberta in general doesn't have a huge hip-hop scene, so I thought it was going to be very mediocre, but a few of them were really solid. A few of them were not great, but it's the way it goes, whatever. It's the nature of it. But
We're way too white and cowboyish. So.
It's true. Cowboy rap. Well, Mac Lethal said he was here at Stampede, like...
No, Cap Callis said he was here.
Cap Callis said that, yeah, that's right.
He was the major opener for Mac Lethal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mac Lethal's was only his second time in Calgary.
Okay, yeah.
So.
Yeah, pretty good rapper.
Yeah, no,
I'm not even into rap at all, and I can appreciate it.
Oh, well, glad you enjoyed it. I wasn't sure. It's a bit of a tough sell telling people to come to a music event where half of it is going to be people making things up on the spot, and you just kind of hope it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tough sell telling people. So when you said you were interested in coming with me, I thought, okay, sure, you're welcome to come, but...
Well, see, what happened was, I think I invited you to something, or maybe, I can't remember, and you said, I can't, I'm going to this, rap concert that night. And I said, wow, thanks for the invite, kind of jokingly. And then you invited me. I'm like, Well, I gotta say yes now. I tried to call him out for not inviting me.
So you had to ditch your original plan in order to go to this thing you didn't know was happening?
Pretty much. I don't remember what that original plan was anyway.
I didn't
That's
think you had anything. I don't know. I don't remember.
or maybe it was somebody else invited you to something, and you said I can't because
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, that's probably no, never mind.
we were in FIDS when it happened. But regardless, Aaron,
Me.
you just got your driver's license.
I did.
Good job.
Thanks.
How's that going for you?
It's good. Yeah, it's a long time coming.
Mhm.
So, I have Deerfoot driving
Mhm.
down.
Do you?
I'm pretty good.
You driven in rush hour yet?
Oh, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I work at 9 to 5 all the way down south, and I live in the north.
Yeah.
So I'm on Deerfoot in rush hour there and back.
Okay.
But
It sucks.
I don't mind it that much. I play my music a little louder than I probably should being a new driver, but
It's gonna start to suck.
it will. But I don't know. It's pretty alright. I like Deerfoot driving a lot more than I like city driving.
Interesting.
Yeah, I find it really hard to follow speed limits.
Because they're always changing on you, or?
No, just 50 seems really slow.
That's like Joel.
So,
Yeah.
well, it just, in comparison, coming right off Deerfoot, going to a 50 zone, it's just like, an adjustment every time, right? But, so I have to check myself a lot more
Yeah.
right now, but it's better than gas station parking lot driving for me, so, yeah.
You want to talk about that?
I wasn't gonna bring it up. So
I'll bring it up. I broke a gas pump. I don't even know what I did.
Here's the best part though. This happened like 2 hours ago. Like that's where it becomes funnier.
Yeah.
Oh god, it was so bad. So Steven offered me a ride today.
You should have taken it.
I should have taken it. Because I was like, oh, well, I'll offer Steven a ride. I never give him rides.
He would have
I
said
couldn't.
no.
And he said no because he was driving your brother.
Mhm.
I don't know. So I said, whatever, I have to go get gas anyway, I'm driving. So I go to the gas station, pull up to the pump that I always use, and go in, pay, come out, not working. Nothing's happening. So I click this button to get a receipt. Because I was like, well, maybe it's just like the last person. It just hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah.
So I hit this button, and it starts beeping at me and won't stop.
Oh.
So I go back inside, and I see this red car pull up, and I'm like, I know it's Steven. I just knew instantly. I just didn't even want to look. And so I go inside. I'm like, is there something wrong? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, nothing's coming out. So something has to be wrong.
There's a pill for that.
That's what she said.
I'm faster.
So they send me back out, and they're watching me through the window, and they can see it's not working, so they send me to the next pump over. And I'm not very good at reversing, so I didn't want to just pull forward and pull back, which now that I think of it, wouldn't have worked anyways either. Right? Yeah, no, it wouldn't have worked. But I thought I was being all smart by backing up first and then driving forward, so I didn't risk backing up into the gas pump.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be that person. So
that
set the whole thing
blows
on
up
fire
the
and then everyone dies. So I back up, pull forward, realize that my, what's it called?
Gas cap?
Gas cap.
That is on the wrong side now. So I pull a Yui and pull in, and Steven says I was supposedly close enough, but I didn't think I was, so I reversed and pulled closer to it, and I was fine. But Steven's laughing at me this whole time, and while I was still on the other side of the pump, him and I are just making eye contact, and I'm just smiling while I'm trying to figure this one out. And then he rolls down his window, and I'm like, Steven, teach me how to pump gas! Because it was just not going well.
There's like a McDonald's there's this gas station plus a 7-Eleven, so there's like a bunch of people around. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to pump gas! Please help!
It was so bad.
It's one of those things where it's like, you should record it and then just put chicken dance music on it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I actually have a story very similar to that I never thought to tell before. I'm going to totally incriminate myself here.
That's fine.
So I don't have my license, but I have a learner's.
Mm-hmm.
And our friend Dean has his full license, but he doesn't, well, actually no, it's not even the full license. He can't be the co-pilot for a learner.
Right.
So we're ignoring that rule. So this was 3 years ago or so when I was living with him, and I come home, it's Sunday night, and he's got his girlfriend over, and we'd been previously having issues about he would have his girlfriend over, and they'd be up until 2 or 3 in the morning being noisy, and I've got work the next day, and I'm like, okay, you just can't have her over Sunday nights because I've got work. And so I come over, and she's over, and he's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here. You know, we've both been drinking. We can't drive. I'm like, okay, what about this? I will drive you guys. I will do the driving. You sit in the passenger seat. We're not going that far. It'll be fine. So in their drunken state, they agree. And I've never driven his car before. I've never driven a car before because I'm always driving SUVs. So
Like a pimp.
yeah, like a soccer mom. But so we get in the car, we're heading down towards her house, and they're like, we want Tim Hortons. And there's a Tim Hortons on the way, and it's about 11:30, 11:45. It's pretty late at night, but the Tim Hortons is still open for just the drive-thru. So they get me to pull in and go through the drive-thru, and I'm like, not only have I never driven this car before, and I don't have my license, I've never done a drive-thru before. So we're going through, and the result was basically that I parked a good, 5 feet away from the window. And I had to open the door and get up to get the
I've
food.
totally done that.
Better safe than sorry.
That's what he said. I'm like, yeah, I did this terribly wrong. And Dean's like, you know what? You didn't wreck my car. It's fine. Pretty much exactly like that. He had far too much. And then, so, just continued from there, dropped off his girlfriend. We're driving away from her place, and he's immediately like, stop! And this car goes barreling by across this blind corner that I couldn't see. He's like, I've almost done that so many times. This corner is terrible. You can go now.
Jeez.
So it's like driving when I shouldn't have, and almost had 2 different incidents.
Yeah.
And it turned out okay in the end. So
Did you get pulled
Nobody
over?
died.
didn't get pulled over. No one died. He mentioned actually a different story from this same girlfriend that she had a bunch of friends that got really drunk, and she took it upon herself to drive them home with no license of any kind.
Oh.
No learners or anything, and they got pulled over.
Oh, shit.
And it's like, okay, I have no license. Everyone here is drunk, and they had no other way to get home, so I said I would drive them because it's better than one of them driving drunk. And the officer decided to let them go because it was safer that way, but it said if you get pulled over again, you're getting arrested.
Yeah.
If you get pulled over again tonight. So
Wow.
I don't know why he let her go in the end.
Cabs are always an option.
They are, but I don't know. They spent all their money on booze, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they just had no money.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Driving sucks.
That's I know. I want to rewind to this concert last night too.
Okay.
Mac Lethal has great T-shirts.
He does have great t-shirts.
I wasn't gonna wear a hoodie tonight, so we talked about this T-shirt, but then it snowed today. But this T-shirt is the
he's got it
funniest
on.
thing
He's gonna...
I have ever seen.
Take it off!
It's like a gorilla smoking cigar with an AK-47, but instead of legs, he's like squid tentacles.
And in his
And like a bird cage in his stomach.
Yeah, bird cage and a door in
Does
his
the
stomach.
smoke say something?
Mac Lethal.
Oh, that makes
But
sense.
this thing's hysterical.
He's got a bird on his shoulder. And
Oh yeah, that's the bird from the bird cage, probably.
Why do they have a bird cage if he sits on his shoulder?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty dope.
It's like some gorillas thing, almost.
It does look like a gorilla's thing.
I don't know, this thing's sick. I like it.
We were right when we were leaving the concert, we stopped by the merch table to see if we could get anything. And he had a really awesome lion's head almost what's it called? It's like an emblem almost. And on a gray, it was gold on a gray shirt. I'm like, this shirt's awesome. I want one of those. So I asked him for it in my size. He's like, we only have extra large. We don't have mediums. I'm like, well, that sucks. He's just like, I mean, if you just put it in the dryer a bunch, it'll shrink. I'm not doing that. And he's just like, well, this monkey one's cool. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll get the monkey one with the squid legs. So Steven and I got the same shirt.
Aw, twinning.
Yeah, you're just gonna be sick.
Yeah,
Cute.
different sizes though.
Yeah.
I might-
I have 2 sizes smaller than Ben.
Yeah, extra small.
You didn't get a small, you got a medium.
That's right. So just extra small. One extra.
Pretty much every man wears a medium shirt, except Steven.
That's right. Even the fat men.
Fat men wear mediums, Steven wears extra large.
Yeah. No, that was a pretty dope night. I might look online to see if I can find that shirt again, because that Lion shirt was awesome. I might try to get that. Not too long ago, this would have been last weekend, we did a theater mode night.
What now?
Oh my goodness, yes we did.
And it was awesome. So
I don't watch many movies. I watch more movies that night than I think I've seen in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
More.
So theater mode is a achievement hunter show where they look at terrible like student movies and stuff like that, and they play a drinking game and commentate over it. And they'll just pause the movie and rewind if they see something like whatever. It's like, was that like a ball sack in the corner? And they'll look. It's like, yep, that was a ball sack. And they drink for nudity and stuff like that. So one of the ones that they watched was a movie called Father's Day. And
oh boy.
It is the weirdest, most convoluted plot I've ever heard. To summarize it, the antagonist is a demon-possessed man called the Fuckman, or the Fuckman, as it's called.
Uh-huh.
And a ancient order of priests was, like, sort of in a battle with this guy. And the guy, I believe, killed the parents of and took the eye of this man named Ahab. And so the priests took Ahab and trained him in karate,
Uh-huh.
and then sicked him after the Fuckman. And then he thought he killed the Fuckman, but he killed the wrong guy, so they sent him to jail for 10 years. And, like, there's, like, his sister is a stripper in a strip joint, and they go there, and there's an incest scene, and, like, what?
Ew!
No, but you don't understand. His sister was possessed by the Fuckman, so he wasn't fucking her, he was fucking the Fuckman.
Or the fuckman was fucking him.
That's true. But it's so funny because, like, he's got her doggy style, he's having a great time, and then it just cuts, and it's, like, the original Fuckman, who's, like, this fat, like, neckbeard with glasses. And then he's banging him.
So why is he having a good time if it looks like his sister?
Well, that's a great part, too, because two of the other protagonists in the movies, like, kick the door open, like, see this, and, I don't remember exactly how it works, but they pretty much kick the door open and save him because a bunch of the priests came in to kill him. And, they save his life. They're like, so what were you doing? The guy's like, nothing. Like, were you fucking your sister? No, never.
Yeah, and they're like, okay, we need to know if you were or not, so why don't you just tell us, no judgment, we'll just call it a day. He's like, okay, we may have fooled around a bit. And they're like, oh, dude, that's your sister!
That's so gross.
Another major plot point for this thing is that the Fuckman, the reason why the movie's called Father's Day is that he murders and butchers and eats fathers.
Oh.
People who are dads.
See, I thought he was going to be the father of both of these main characters, because that would have been like...
Oh, that would have been meta.
Yeah.
But, terrible movie.
Yeah, it was not very good.
Well, it was terrible and great. Like, ironically good.
So, like,
something that Matt would like.
So, like, Man with the Iron Fists.
Yes, but that is a good movie.
That's a bad movie.
No, it's a great movie.
It's a good bad movie.
Okay.
It's
we're going to have to watch that one, if you haven't seen it.
No, I'm not.
Steven would love it.
So after watching this, we'd had a couple drinks due to this game, due to the drinking game for Father's Day. We ended up watching 3 other movies that night, and we started at like 7 or 8 p.m.
Oh man.
So after that, we watched
Rocky Picture Horror Show.
Yeah, the Rocky Picture Horror Show.
Or Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. His name is Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
And it's a picture show, and that one is not bad. It's kind of weird.
That one has the dentist song in it, right? Or is that Little Shop of Horrors? I might have the wrong movie.
That might be Little Shop. I don't know.
I do not recall that.
Yeah, it's I know it now. It's from Nostalgia Critic because he had 2 of the songs at the same time. One's Rocky Horror and the other's Little Shop of Horrors, and I got it mixed.
This movie's about like some transgendered alien who like sings songs in a mansion.
Yeah.
Like lures people into his house.
Yeah, it's Tim Curry, isn't it? I think.
I'm not familiar enough with actors. Maybe.
So after that, we watched a movie called Teeth.
Oh yeah.
And
the vagina one.
Yeah, the movie about the girl who has teeth in her vagina, and it's sort of like a coming of age, self-discovery sort of movie.
Discovering your teeth.
Like she likes a boy, and the boy is trying to like get some, and when he takes it a step too far, she takes a little bit of him away. Yeah. And then there's a scene where, to spoil this movie, because, you don't really need to see it. So spoiler alert, if you really do want to see these movies, go watch them now. But she goes to visit a gynecologist, because she's like, I don't know what's wrong with me, people keep losing their dicks. And he's like, okay, well, we'll just check it out. I'm pretty sure he was corrupt.
Right.
And so, like, he's checking her out. So he's like, okay, we just need to check things out. So he puts his, like, 4 fingers inside of her. She's like, oh, that's uncomfortable stuff. He's like, no, you like it, or whatever. And she ends up biting all of his fingers off.
Kind of saw that coming.
Oh, it's so bad.
So wait, is it only when she doesn't like it?
So at first she can't control it, but she learns to control it.
So it becomes self-defense.
That would be sick as fuck.
Yeah,
Actually.
for sure. I've heard of...
Rapists beware.
I've heard of anti-rape devices that you can get. That's essentially like skewers that you put in your vagina so that when somebody enters you, they skewer their penis.
There's one like that that's like a sheath and it has barbs on the inside that face towards the entrance.
Right.
So if you go in, it hooks into your penis and you can't pull out. Or like you pull out and the whole sheath comes with you and you have to get it surgically removed so everyone knows that you're a rapist.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Plus, like, badly damaging.
Yeah.
As you would expect.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Good idea.
But Farkman does some bad damaging to his penis. It's just disturbing.
That teeth one kind of reminds me of another bad movie, It Follows.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
It's about a sexually transmitted demon.
Oh.
So there's this...
Like crabs?
Well, no, it's like an actual ghost demon thing that will follow you around and kill you if you have sex with someone who has the disease that makes the demon follow you around. So like this girl like meets this guy and she's not too into him, but she like wants to lose her virginity and she does to him, and then he like ties her up and tells her that now she's infected by this demon. So all over the place she's being followed by people who look like they don't belong there. Like she'll be going through her school and there's like this old woman in a hospital gown and they're always slowly walking towards them in a creepy fashion. So that's how you know, like that's how they stand out. And she's like rushing around and like trying to figure out what to do, and it's like, oh, if I have sex with someone else, that'll get rid of the disease. So she has sex with like one of her bro friends that's not the main love interest, to try and pass it on to him because he's being the brave guy, and it doesn't work. It's still following her, so she like goes and has sex with a boat of these 3 guys out on the water because it won't go in the water for some reason, and like that doesn't work, and so they capture it in a pool at their school and they kill it with a gun. Like, kill a demon with a gun.
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, we've done it. And then she gets with the love interest, who's the nerdy guy, who's, like, trying to support her this whole time. And, you know, they become a couple, and it ends, and the demon is, like, following the both of them. And they don't know it.
Wow.
It's a terrible movie. So...
We might have to have another theater mode night.
Yeah, I'm down.
The final movie
I'd say we watch one more.
We did watch one more. We watched Black Sheep, I think it was called. And it's essentially it's about a were-sheep. So you know what a werewolf is. Same premise, but you're were-sheeps. People are like growing hooves and stuff. And
Are they evil sheep?
yes.
Like, sheep aren't very intimidating.
Well, these
ones
sheep, like, it's human-sized sheep. Like, a human with hooves and fur and weird eyes and a snout. Like...
I was gonna say, hope you're not in Scotland, but this sounds terrible anyway.
New Zealand. It was in New Zealand. So there are a ton of sheep in New Zealand.
Yeah, I was going somewhere else with that joke. But
that's I don't know. What, you were...
About Scotsmen and their sheeps.
Oh.
It's
that
fun.
goes back to Julian's sheep story.
Julian had a sheep story like that?
Oh yeah, you gotta listen to episode...
1.
It might
Or
have been...
0.
Really?
It might have been the pilot episode, yeah.
Because I did watch that one, but I don't remember that story.
You should have watched them all. Mike.
Ah.
I watch them all.
I haven't been painting recently, so I haven't been watching them.
Ah, there you go. Okay, moving on. Do you guys want to play Safe Word quick?
Sure.
So Safe Word is a part of the show where we take terms and sentences off of Urban Dictionary, give our best shit shot at defining them. Tonight I have the words. I actually looked them up beforehand and didn't try to frantically search them up during the podcast. The first term that you must define, ass, gas, or grass.
Oh, it's a payment system. It's like you have to pay with one of those three things.
That's your guess?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, yeah, it's like, oh, can I catch a lift from you? Oh, if you provide ass, grass, or gas.
I get it, because you have to give them either sex, weed, or pay for the fuel. Yeah,
Is that right?
that's totally what it is.
That's totally what it is.
That's an idiot.
Good job, everybody. We're going to move on right away.
Sorry.
It's fine. Off the box.
Okay, this one's harder.
I got it.
Okay.
I know this guy, and it's for like Lent or something. Is that what it's called?
That is
Lent
a thing.
is a thing, yes.
When you like give something up?
Yep.
He gave up sex. He's off the box.
Oh, I gotcha.
You stole mine.
Haha.
Nice. That's a good one. Well, now you got to come up with something else.
Okay, what else can I use for box?
There was a. I'll give you time to think. There was a expansion to what's it called? Cards Against Humanity, called The Bigger Blacker Box, and it involved a whole bunch more cards that just involved like box puns and jokes and references to boxes. And
So in that vein, the next expansion for Cards Against Humanity will be off the box, and all of the cards are just stuck to the outside of the box instead of being inside the box.
Oh, okay.
So you have to peel them all off in order to use them.
What are they stuck on with?
Like, I don't know, rubber cement or something.
Okay.
I don't. This might be against the rules. If I as a person, am I off the box, or would I get off the box?
It just says off the box.
Okay.
It's like off the chain.
Shoot. Off the box is when. So you're living with some sort of roommates or parents or something, and you are ordering things online that are arguably embarrassing or inappropriate. They don't want the other people you're living with to know. So you're requesting like anonymous shipping to try to so there's nothing on the box. You're getting something off the box or transferring some sort of illicit item.
So if you order like a dildo, say, they're not going to draw a big dick on the box.
Or like they just like during they'll have like packaging information on the box sometimes, which is like what the contents of the box are.
Yeah.
You don't want like your 16-inch black dildo to be on there.
Okay.
So
just like an internal packing slip instead of an external.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is, because so many of those sites actually do that.
I've seen a funny picture of that where this guy's like here's your anonymous delivery, ma'am, and has like the plain cardboard box, but he's driving a van that has a giant dildo on the roof. So
yeah, I'm not saying I would know if these services exist. Apparently they do.
They do.
Thank you, Aaron.
I thought
My
that was something.
extensive knowledge.
I've
I've never ordered one, I just happen to know.
That was another good line that I was actually going to bring up from the rap battle. So this place is next to a sex shop here in Calgary called Little Shop of Pleasures.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
a guy made a reference to it, like, you and this guy was here with his friend. He's like, you and Rubik's were at the Little Shop of Pleasures sucking dick together.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was incredible.
The Little Shop of Pleasures, not pleathers, had a sign above it that said, "Well, slather me in honey and throw me to the lesbians."
fun fact, before I knew what it was, I thought pleather was like the leather things they can get at sex shops.
Oh.
Pleasure leather.
Pleasure leather.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought pleather was short for that.
That's awesome.
You should title this on that.
Title of what?
Pleasure leather.
Pleasure leather.
Yes.
That'll draw them in.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
With our explicit tags.
I thought anonymous shipping stuff would be something you would know about, Stephen. I figured I don't know. I figured you would have ordered at least something that you didn't want somebody else to know you were shipping.
No, I don't think so.
No examples of that?
Steven has no shame when he orders his 16-inch black dildo.
Only 16?
Hey mom, check it out.
You got a custom order for larger than that, so.
No, I don't think. There's definitely something I have some CDs and stuff I wouldn't necessarily want other people knowing that I own.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, like if they just saw the cover or whatever, just saw the title of it, I don't think it would be a problem.
He's talking about CDs from Eminem.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
For the record, I do not own any Eminem CDs. If I did, I would not want people to know I own them.
All right, let's hear what the actual definition is.
All right, off the box. The state of being removed from a position of prominence or importance due to a foolish mistake.
Huh.
It's, I think, sort of like being removed from the podium. An example would be when Michael Phelps was dropped by Kellogg's after a picture of him with a bong was released. So, you make a mistake, people drop you. Which, you know, hindsight is 20/20, but if there's ever a prominent position where I'm introduced and people listen to this podcast,
Yeah.
I might get kicked off the box.
I don't know, I think hers was better than that.
Oh, yeah.
definition.
Aaron's was pretty solid. Actually, all yours were pretty solid.
No, mine sucked.
Well, if you say so.
The original of what I'd been thinking of before it got snatched was like when you're going at it and you pull out and you
Sorry,
have to-
going at it, you want to define that?
when you're doing the dirty, when you're making the beast with two backs, when you're fucking
There you go.
and you pull
When you're
out,
fucking the beast with two backs.
yeah, and you pull out and you have to aim not for the box, you got to aim off the box
Oh, I gotcha.
so she don't get pregnant.
That's a pretty good one.
But it was already topicked on me, so.
Your next turn is Oobladong.
Oogladon?
Oobladong. OOBLA.
You guys know? Do you guys remember Oobleck?
Damn it, you're stealing mine again.
You gotta get more on the ball, man.
Okay, so do you know what Oobleck is?
No.
Was it a Dr. Seuss thing first?
I
Definitely
may have
remember.
been, yeah.
They eventually made it on Mythbusters, I believe. I don't know. Pretty much, if you mix like cornstarch and water,
Yeah.
you'll get like this liquid, but on impact, it becomes hard. So like you could pour it and everything, but if you were to punch it, it would be a very hard substance.
That is referred to as a non-Newtonian fluid.
I did not know that.
There you go. Nerd for the day.
So this is an Oobladong.
Yeah.
Oobladong.
So
Oogladong?
it's
Yeah.
D-O-N-G, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is when a guy is into getting hit in the nuts. And so he has an
But
Oobladong.
it
If you
gets-
punch it,
It gets hard when he gets hit.
His nuts are change shape.
Starts off soft.
That's awesome.
That's exactly what I was going for.
Well,
It was. I think it was Ben who first introduced me to the substance of Oobleck or whatever,
Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure you learned it from them. So I was like, I need to get this in because I can almost guarantee Mike's thinking it.
Yeah.
there you go. Aaron, Mike? Anything?
Oob. I don't know.
Say oob
Okay.
fast enough. You start to
Okay.
say boob.
So we're taking this a direction I don't want to, but it's the first thing I've got. So from Dragon Ball Z,
Yes.
you have the character of Boo that they fight, and then they eventually like stop him, and then I think they they wipe his memory or something. I haven't actually watched the episode, but he gets turned into a different character that they name Oop. So because it's Boo backwards. So Oobladong is just Oob's penis.
There you go.
There you
I
go.
did not expect Dragon Ball Z to be brought up as that, so I like it. It's funny.
Aaron?
I got
Oobladong.
nothing.
Oh, come on. I came up with off the box when I had nothing. You can do Oobladong.
Maybe like a weird shape. That's all I got.
What? A weird shape of what?
And just like, you know how there's like weird names for shapes based on like the number of sides?
Yeah.
I would
This
call
is just
a
like
weird
an
shape.
unheard of number of sides on
Okay.
a shape. Oogladong.
An oobla amount of sides on a
Yes.
shape. Alright, taking it to Matthew.
On a dong shaped item. Sure. Oogladong.
The actual definition of oobladong, according to Urban Dictionary, is a terrible definition. A penis having greater length than width, derived from the word oblong.
Oh.
More
Maybe
length
an
than width.
Oobladong and not an Oobladong.
I know.
Wait, so greater length than width?
Yes. So a typical penis.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, isn't most?
So you all have oogladongs.
Wait, what?
I'm not too familiar with their
No, I have it showed.
dimensions.
How do you know this?
So because
I mean, I'm just
We never-
assuming.
because the first term was immediately got, I grabbed another one. Good luck with this one. Glass bottom boat.
Oh, I have definitely heard this one though.
All right, you can go last.
All right. You know the glass ceiling?
Yep.
So like you can't get any higher than this.
Yeah.
Glass bottom boat is everyone standing on top of that ceiling, laughing at everyone else.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Makes total sense.
Glass bottom boat?
Glass bottom boat.
And this is not actually like a legitimate definition. This is a funny definition.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Okay, because I know what a literal glass bottom boat is.
I was gonna say they don't always. Some of the ones he's picked hasn't always been like funny. They have been like actual
Yeah.
phrases. So
Because there's literal glass bottom boats, which is a boat that has a plexiglass or plastic bottom so that you can see fish as you're on the surface and drifting over coral reefs or whatever, and you can just look down through the boat and see like underwater.
yeah, it's
That'd
a,
be super
it's a
cool.
descriptor. It's a glass bottom boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
glass bottom boat. Shoot. I wish I didn't call you out earlier because I would have happily taken a pass on this one. A glass bottom boat is.
I don't know, tie it into fat bottom girls or something.
I'm hurting here. This is a tough one. So it's when you are on a boat and.
You're moving fast and
Okay, so it's somebody who has a large bong collection.
Okay.
And he shucks, dude, this is tough. A glass bottom boat. You know, I'm just gonna say it is a pothead who has his own grow up. So he's on his own boat. He smokes. I got nothing.
I thought you were gonna go with like when you smoked so much you feel like you could like
You're like kind of like wavering back and forth and
well,
just
like
like enjoying
you
vibes.
smoke so much that you're looking at your bong and you think it's large enough that you could sail around in it.
That's some crazy.
So a real glass bottom boat is a boat with a glass bottom so that you can see fish under.
Yeah.
But Urban Dictionary's term is much more disgusting.
Oh great.
It has to do with a glass coffee table. It's a sexual term. One person lies under the glass coffee table and either A, presses their genitals onto the glass, or B, takes a dump on the glass.
From underneath?
No, one person is underneath and watches, and the other person does the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Glass bottom boat.
You know what would have made way more sense
What's that?
is when they're filming porn and they use a glass coffee table for when they're doing sex. I gotta have more examples.
When they are doing the sex.
When they're doing the sex. Doing the sex scene, I suppose. And that's where the cameraman is underneath the glass coffee table so you can get that camera angle.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, no.
I can't tell if you're agreeing with me or not.
That's one of those funny things we do where you say, yeah, no, or no, yeah. Yeah, maybe. No, maybe. You know?
Are you aware you've given every possible response to that question?
No, yeah.
That is a reference to a TV show you haven't seen. So
How do you know I haven't seen it?
I don't think you've seen Dirk Gently yet.
Nope.
There you go.
Yeah, no.
Because you would have talked to me about it because you would have loved it. So
Oh. Well, why didn't you recommend it to me?
I have recommended it to you.
Not well enough, apparently.
Watch it.
You didn't sell me. Okay, I'll try to watch it.
You've been called out on the podcast, now you have to.
Yeah, that's right. It's being recorded, and I'm totally not editing it out. I've got some beef sauce
Ooh.
with AIT, which is apprenticeship and industry training. God, I can't talk.
I think beef sauce is new for me.
Beef sauce is when you've got beef with somebody. You gotta slather it all over them
Okay.
on the podcast, calling them out in public. So, Alberta Apprenticeship and Industry Training is the apprenticeship program, government run, that I have to go through to finish my apprenticeship. And they've screwed me before with not telling me when I can register and then me missing the date. So I got a letter from them this week, sort of in the form of an email that said, we have noticed that, or our records show, that you have not made a progression in your apprenticeship for 18 months. You have until the end of the month to register or contact us before we terminate your apprenticeship.
do it. Derek's got terminated, and he got fucked because of it.
The problem is, my course is offered every 12 months, which means, and I didn't get in this year because I got put on a waiting list, which means that it's literally impossible for me to do it within 18 months.
Call them.
I went into the office the day I got the letter, and I talked to them. They're like, yeah, we'll extend it, and then you have to keep calling back every single day until we know what the date is that you can register. So it's kind of BS. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I was gonna say, if my thing got terminated, I probably would have gone to you, Aaron, and other journalism students at SAIT and been like, you guys want a story? Like.
Oh, I would have taken it for sure, because Derek, he got that same letter that his had been terminated, and
It had been terminated?
It had been.
Oh.
He
get the
didn't
warning?
do anything about it. I'm sure he probably did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's innocent in all of this.
Okay.
But so his got terminated. He didn't do anything about it. He just kept working. And then he got laid off.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, perfect time to go back to school.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, yeah, great, do that. Only they wouldn't let him
Continue from that point.
Because
Wouldn't let him
his
persist.
stuff had been terminated or whatever. So he had to like call them, and they wouldn't let him get back into the apprenticeship or anything. Like, they wouldn't let him re-register without an employer. And he had just been laid off, and it was such a shit fit. So then he had to get an employer who was willing to register him, or I don't know the proper term, but who's willing to work with him, so he couldn't go back to school. It was ridiculous.
So it was a catch-22?
Does he have to like start over with the school? Like, I don't know what it
No,
means.
now
for
he
apprenticeships.
got an employer with a different electrician company, but he couldn't go back to school.
He had to wait until, not that he's employed, he'll probably wait till the company is fine with sending him back.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of annoying.
What you can do is you can challenge the exam. So if you know you're more experienced than a first year, like you're a third year experience, but you haven't done first or second year, you can challenge the third year exams.
Oh, yeah.
First year, second year, then third year, and if you pass those, then you get the credit.
But the issue is, he didn't lose his years of schooling, it's just that they wouldn't let him go back until he got an employer sign off on him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And like, I think he probably could have just restarted. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. But none of that would have been credited. So none of his many hours that he had worked, and none of that would have gone toward it. So.
How long of an extension did you get?
Like,
do they extend it 30 days? It's just really annoying? Or did they give you 12 months or something?
They extended it until fall, I believe. So.
Strange, if you're not registered again, you'll have to call them and.
Yeah, and she said if you don't get in again, then I recommend challenging the exam. And like, I can't remember if because this is for second year schooling, despite the fact that I have my third year hours. She's like, I don't know if there's a practical exam, like you have to build something in a time limit, as well as a written exam, for which I don't have any of the studying materials for.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go spend $250 on the studying materials to write an exam and not get 2 months off to study and practice and stuff. So
that actually, something like that happened with Dean, because he went in and did his journeyman baker's exam the first time and he failed. And then the deadline for the next one was like to take it again was like 4 months. So he just spent like the whole 4 months studying it and learning everything that he could so he could go and take it again with the most amount of preparation.
Yeah.
And went in to the journeyman's exam the second time, passed it easily, and then just while he was there, he's like, you know what, I'm just going to challenge the red seal.
Yeah.
And like same day just went in and wrote the red seal and passed it. So he just skipped over his third year pretty much.
Yeah.
Which was pretty fun.
If you're not aware of what the Red Seal program is, when you're in a trade, you apprentice for a certain number of years, and then you become a journeyman, which allows you to be certified to work in that trade, like you're a recognized person in the province, and the Red Seal allows you to be recognized in all of the provinces in Canada.
Yeah.
So.
And then master after that for world recognition, basically.
Something like that, yeah. Not every program does a master's, though. I'm pretty sure cabinet making doesn't. Although it might. Master woodworker.
Because I'm pretty sure Dean's father-in-law, Dale, is a master cabinet maker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh, well, there you go. I could become a master.
There you go.
If AIT would let me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my beef sauce.
What's
Their
up?
stupid system doesn't even let me progress. And it makes sense for other programs that offer it like 3 times a year. But mine is only offered once every 12 months. So you can't put an 18-month limit on something like that.
It should really be that if you've applied for the second year and you got on the waiting list because they didn't have room and didn't get in because of that, you should automatically be put first on the list for the next registration.
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
No.
Or, no. When is your registration?
See, here's the thing. I've talked about this before, but the registration is sometime in May, and SATE doesn't know that date until AIT tells them that date, and AIT doesn't know that date until sometime in April. So I'm supposed to call them every single day in April for them to tell me when, so I can hit the day where they know when it is, so that I know when it is, and then now I have to write down what that day is when I can register, and then I have to register on that day and make sure I get in as one of 20 people.
Yeah.
Because they only offer one course. And SATE is the only place in Calgary to do this. Nate in Edmonton also does this, but I have a rental lease, so I can't leave Calgary.
Oh, God.
So they've got me by the balls, so to speak, and...
You should call like 2 or 3 times a day just so that they're aware of like how irritating this is and make them do something.
Yeah, well, I definitely made it known to the people at AIT.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there and I kind of gave them a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
But
you should call them every day, and they're like, no, you have to call SATE about this. It's like, oh yeah, because you're awful about this. And the next day call them again. It's like, no, we told you to go to SATE. Yeah, I realize that. Still calling you.
Yeah.
Just do that every time.
Just give them hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's not gonna solve the issue, right? It's solving the bureaucracy that's gonna solve the issue.
Yeah. But when a company has enough complaints, they're more likely to actually do something about it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's going to hurt their bottom line in any way. So actually, bad publicity, that's the way to go.
Yeah. That's why I was considering going to the journalism students of SATE.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, hey, here's a story. But it may all work out in the end, so you may not have a story.
Darn.
Yeah.
It's alright, I only have one more story to write, and it's a sports profile. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so if
You're
anyone
gonna
knows
write it
somebody...
on Matt in his fighting game career?
No.
Oh. Smart move,
Sorry.
it didn't go very far.
But,
Get called out, Matt.
if anyone knows an athlete who's like good...
Alex.
Good athlete.
Oh, he has been playing for a few years, maybe.
Alex's brother. Hey Alex, I need a good athlete to interview for this thing. Can you ask your brother?
Is this like athlete just an athletic person or somebody in an organized sport?
I think my instructor would prefer organized sport.
Are they one like professional level or even like amateur level? Like how?
I don't know. Like in the practice one that we did, he like asked for somebody from our class, and he was like, "Oh, you don't have to be good at all." But then the person he picked from our class almost went pro for golfing. And like golfs every day of his life and all this stuff, and it's like obviously a very prominent part of his life.
Yeah.
So I think he'd probably prefer somebody like that.
Because I say there's a big difference between like Alex's rugby thing is very organized, but it's still pretty much a rec league. Like it's not like they're meeting up once we just play a game and they all go home. They do have practices and stuff and tryouts. But it is very much like a recreation compared to like amateur sports even. Where, like there's still money on the line and stuff like that. So.
Speaking of your fighting sports thing that you mentioned,
Matt,
so call back to the first episode that I was on, way back, episode 9-ish.
Don't look at me.
Blood Bowl
I
tournament?
don't run this game.
No, before that one, I think. Or maybe, it was before that one.
The Burger Baron.
No, that was the same episode, possibly.
That was the episode that you were on.
The philosophy talk?
Yeah, the philosophy talk episode. So anyway, not even related to the philosophy, but you asked the question, Ben, if MMA fighters have to get blood tests before they compete to make sure that they don't have transmissible diseases via blood.
Yeah.
And I looked that up recently, and they actually do have to do that.
Oh, cool.
They have to not have diseases that you can catch via blood before they go and fight.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't think that was an actual thing, because...
It's something you don't really think about until you see all the blood in the arena.
Yeah.
Damn.
But if you're a minor sports star, or a major sports star, whatever, and you're listening to our podcast for whatever reason, shoot us an email if you want to get interviewed for a story.
Yeah, there we go.
In that same vein, if you are anybody, shoot us an email. And specifically, I'm looking at YouTubers and stuff, people who produce content. If you would like to be on our show, we're totally open to that. If you shoot us an email or contact us on Twitter or something, you can either contact at HastleCast on Twitter or at Ben or James on Twitter. That's my name now on Twitter because I respond to either Ben or James when people say my name. Sometimes I'll go into a professional place and they list your name, surname, and first name.
Right, yeah.
And they'll say, are you James? I'll say yes because I technically am James.
I've gone through that before.
Yeah. So... Ben or James, at Ben or James on Twitter. I will respond to you there. We're working towards getting a couple people lined up. A couple people have already spoken to me saying that they're interested. So look out for that in future episodes. We might have some guest appearances going on.
Now, with the name Ben or James, I don't want to get off of this yet, because that is so close to it being Pinor James.
What's Pinor James?
Well, just the word Pinor being part of your name. If you switch the B into a P, if someone wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. If somebody hacked me and changed it from Benor to Pinor.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
So, one time, for your sports story, does it have to be a sports person or just like somebody or like in organized competitions?
Probably either. It just has to be somebody who's willing to let me write their story.
Okay.
You'd probably get a more interesting story out of a semi-pro or amateur.
For sure. I just don't know any semi-pros. So.
Yeah.
We could recommend Jeremy. He's in an amateur soccer league now.
Yeah, could do that. But anyway.
Yeah, this is gonna be a discussion later. My apologies for derailing it.
No, it's all good.
What else do we have to talk about?
I have a couple things.
If we're talking more about the Mac Lethal concert.
We could, if you have more stuff to talk about.
Not particularly. If we're looking to fill time, I can, but...
No, I got stuff to fill time. Recently, not to date this episode, it was April 1st, which some of you know of as April Fool's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of websites and stuff will pull a little prank or make an article or something that's fake. The most interesting one to me was Google Maps and how you could play Mrs. Pac-Man.
You still can.
You still can on Google Maps.
Was that April Fool's? Because I swear I did that before April Fool's.
They did have the feature they removed and they re-added it in recently. I thought they added it before April Fool's.
They maybe added it just to make sure it worked.
I thought it was March 30th or something they added it in.
I'm pretty sure on that date I've noticed it on my...
I don't think they were going for a day of it because that much programming for something like that you don't want to have for just a day. You want at least a week.
I can actually check. No, it would have been the 31st because I was using my maps to go to physio. Yeah. I had to look up the location of it, and I noticed it then.
Yeah.
So, I guess it was the day before to make sure it worked.
I hate April Fools.
Yeah?
It's so annoying.
It's kind of curious how it's still a thing.
I find most quote-unquote practical jokes are pretty just inconvenient somebody slightly. That or it's going way too far.
Right.
So which means that Amy's ha, April Fool's, wow, you did this small thing that'll take 2 minutes out of my day. Right?
Yeah.
Or it's just oh great, I read a news story that wasn't actually you wrote as a joke.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a funny one though that I've remembered.
Is it Pornhub's?
No.
Okay, because Pornhub was pretty funny.
No, this was a personal one. Personal. It was one of my friends. So my friend Rodney, that you might have.
I remember Rodney.
So
way to use his last name.
There's lots of Rodney in the world, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Now I'm gonna beep it twice.
Oh, great. So him and his brother did not get along super well. His older brother was a bit of a character. And he had this habit, when he would get home from school, he would, slide across the kitchen floor, across the linoleum to get to the fridge. So on April Fool's Day, Rodney put cooking oil on the floor. So he came sliding in and just whammed into the cupboards.
Oh, wow.
I think he broke one of the cupboard doors doing it.
That's awesome.
It was pretty funny, though.
I love those ones where they, stretch like saran wrap like
Over
head
the
height
door.
over a door, and then tell the person through to come through quick, and they run through and catch their face.
I've seen that happen to a cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's great. Cat gets all wrapped up.
Yeah.
You said there was a Pornhub thing.
There was a Pornhub one. So when you went to, if you were somebody who wanted to visit Pornhub on April
good save.
Fool's Day, it came up with a pop-up saying, the much featured request, we now automatically share all videos on your Facebook profile.
So that's why you use incognito mode.
Yeah. No, I just thought it was funny for the minor heart attack you probably gave several people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Fun fact that Pornhub is going to be one of the few websites that will actually respect your privacy with the new bill getting voted into the U.S.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
because
against it.
they're putting in a new bill that is repealing a lot of the FCA, I believe that is the name of the group, for internet regulation. It was a bill that was previously in place that prevented internet service providers from giving away your personal data to companies,
Yeah.
from selling your data. And there's a bill that just needs to be signed by the president right now to repeal that. So the internet service providers, Verizon and Comcast basically, because no one can compete with them, they would now be able to sell, if you are in the US, they can sell your name and your age and your marital status and your education level and your home address and your
Oh, your personal information.
your social security number.
Ooh.
No, really?
Yeah, that's on the list. It's not saying that they will, but it is now open that they could.
And they could profit off of
And-
that.
Yes, they can
Also
sell
they
it
will.
to
I would
advertisers.
say they could also sell your entire internet history.
Really?
Yeah.
Where right now that's completely doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if it's like tracked through Google or something, but at that point that's through Google and they can do what they want.
Yeah.
Because you're going through Google. But
Well,
yeah.
and like the things they can do, because there's things that are not so bad, like they recognize, say, you're a woodworker, so they will advertise woodworking tools or places that sell cheap wood or whatever.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, which is sensible and actually kind of helpful to you.
Yeah.
On the alternative, they could see that you are a liberal, so they only show you really hardcore liberal, like extremist level of websites, which convinces you to become more of a, what direction is that? Left-leaning liberal, and makes you more and more vocal instead of everyone being at a medium where they can agree, to make polarizing groups kind of thing. Like that is a potential that they can do.
And just clarification, that's something Google already does. Based on your searches and like where they're referring links to and stuff, Google already start tailoring things towards things you search more frequently to make things more that you're likely to agree with. Partially because they want that first link to be exactly what you're looking for. So if they notice 9 times out of 10 you're clicking on links that are anti-Trump, they're just going to give you the anti-Trump links right away.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, in circumstances where there's going to be advertisements and stuff anyway, you want it to be at least relevant, right?
So,
Arguably.
and actually on that, because I have a funny story that I read. I hope I haven't told it on this podcast already.
It's okay.
So, and this is also an indication of how deep that's gotten with analyzing people's behaviors and their search histories and such. So there's this father, goes into Target, and he's really pissed at them because they've been sending his daughter coupons for diapers and baby formula and stuff, and she's only 16.
I know where this is going.
And he's like, Target is encouraging my daughter to have sex, and this is not okay. We are a good Christian family, blah, blah, blah. So storms out, comes back a week or two later, and he's like, I want to apologize for my behavior last time. There are some things that have been going on in my house I was not aware of.
Oh, no.
My daughter is pregnant. And the way, like, what had happened, because they've been sending her these coupons, but it was from her search history having things that were, but it wasn't even specifically baby things. Like, is my period late, or where to go for neonatal care or whatever. It was things like she was looking for scent-free soaps and like larger shoes and such like that. So all these conditions that may apply when you are pregnant, but not specifically pregnancy things, but it's a consistency, and they recognize that, and it's like, oh, other pregnant women search for these things, and you do too, so obviously you are also pregnant.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and found out within like a week or two of her realizing, pretty much.
Jeez.
Wow.
So it's kind of creepy at this point. And other things, like we have a friend that plays board games with us on Mondays, and he was telling me that his phone very recently, because he usually has the Wi-Fi and the location settings turned on, and it recognizes the place that we go to play board games is down in Mahogany in the south of Calgary, and his phone has recognized that he goes down there every Monday. So while he's at work, like 15 minutes or so before he leaves, he'll sometimes get alerts from his phone that are like, traffic is really bad along this route to Mahogany, we suggest you take this other route. So
That's kind of cool, though.
it's cool, but he's never searched the address, so it can't go on that. It's just constantly tracking where he is and recognizes where he is on a repeated basis and builds around that without any like input.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go one more for this privacy one. I remember one Shit Talks. The worst one I ever had, because I don't have the Facebook app downloaded. Well, in theory, you could just leave off my phone, but your phone can pick up conversations you're having and then use that for advertising. So it's like, I was on my way home from State, I was talking to one of my classmates, and he was telling me about like some restaurant he went to that was really cool. And I'm walking home, I refresh Facebook, and immediately there's an advertisement for that restaurant. Never looked it up before or anything like that, never seen it before. And the moment he tells me, that was like, we're having a conversation 15 minutes earlier, and all of a sudden I'm seeing ads for it.
Huh.
There's some
Yeah.
conversation
Weird.
around it.
My friend and I thought they were doing that within a restaurant we were at. I don't know if you've been to the Golden Dragon downtown. It's a dim sum restaurant in Chinatown. And so it's me and Dean and Joel. We're all sitting in one of the back corners near the windows, like pretty far from the kitchens and everything. And they just bring out trays of foods and you pick what you want and they give it to you. And we're sitting there and we're like, we could really go for some salt and pepper squid. Like just talking to each other. And a minute later, a tray comes out of the kitchen and they come up and they're like, salt and pepper squid? We're like, do they have microphones at the tables? What's going on?
Oh, jeez.
How did they know?
All right, well, we're getting pretty close to the end of the show here, so this is typically the time where we do our other little segment called Gravy Boat, which is, if you're curious as to why it's named that, go try to find out what episode we talked about that in. But it's a playlist of lesser-known songs, or mostly lesser-known songs, that we have on our YouTube channel that you can check out for free anytime you want or anytime you have an internet connection. And every week we recommend a song and add it to the list. So this week, I was thinking we put a Mac Lethal song on there, because we've been talking about him for a lot of the podcast tonight.
Yeah, we can.
Do you have any that you would prefer to be on?
I'm thinking he's generally more popular than our usual Gravy Boat says, but if you're fine with it, then
No,
sure.
I've looked him up, and his one song here has got about 84,000 views, so yeah.
Right. Vamp for a little bit while I just look up a song that I'm thinking I'm going to use, but
Yeah, he's a little bit more known. Like some of his videos are like hundreds of thousands, but some of them are only tens of thousands. But
I found one recently. It wasn't exactly a song, but
I actually got one here for Mac Lethal. This is, I don't know too many of his songs. I knew him more during his battle rap career back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
But one song I always heard from that I always liked was just called Basketball Shorts.
okay.
And it's like a in-studio like recording of it he did. And yeah.
All
I
right,
think it's
so
really good.
Mac Lethal Basketball Shorts. You can find that on our YouTube playlist called Gravy Boat, as well as all the other songs that we recommended from previous episodes. So go check that out, and while you're there, drop us a sub, like all our videos, do all that fun stuff. And that's coming to the end of our show here. Follow us on Twitter and on our Facebook page, and leave comments, and email us at HastleCast@gmail.com. And again, if you are a YouTuber or something, or a content creator, contact us, and maybe we can figure out having you on the show. We're taking a few more steps to getting a better setup here. I've got a order coming in for next Friday, so hopefully that'll make our recording setup a little bit higher quality and doesn't get all the squeaky chairs. So
I was trying to make the chair squeak and it wasn't working.
it's mainly these side chairs. I try not to move too much. And I've noticed that like Steven always sits in one of these chairs. And every time he gets excited about something to say, he sits up in his seat and it makes a huge squeak.
I tried to get a bit closer to the mic to try to do it, but apparently that's a bad thing. My apologies.
It's not a problem at all. Anyway, thanks for coming tonight, guys, and speaking with me.
Thanks for having us.
We will see you guys next Wednesday. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.